And now for something completely different.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cinematic Relief. I'm Thunder,
And I'm Lightning.
and today we are going to be talking about probably a little bit of both Wonder Woman movies, but mostly, God, what is it even called? Is it literally called WW84?
That would be my understanding based on everything I've ever seen about this
I'm
movie.
pretty sure the actual title of the movie is...
No. I'm looking at a pop figure right here that says WW84.
Yeah, no, I think the actual title is Wonder Woman 1984, but literally all the promotional art says WW84.
It says underneath in small letters, it says Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, not even 1984?
No.
Just interesting. Okay, whatever. Wait, that one, the new Wonder Woman film. That's no longer on HBO Max by the time you're listening to this. We're gonna talk about
quick,
that.
huh?
Yeah, it was like a 3-week thing. I'm not sure, but yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah. I think it's going to. I don't know. Ignore me. We both watched it. I watched it when it came out. Chris watched it more recently, but still a week or so ago. Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago.
So you
That's me.
have been super open about the fact that you have never really watched a DC movie. You were forced to watch Suicide Squad once, and other than that, you haven't really seen any of the new canon, we're going to do a cinematic universe canon that started with Man of Steel.
Correct.
So you actually hadn't seen the first Wonder Woman until basically moments before you saw the second Wonder Woman.
Correct.
So why don't you briefly give us your thoughts on the first Wonder Woman film, a movie that I love. I think that movie's really, really good.
Okay. Pauline, don't hate me. I wasn't overly impressed, and it's not entirely the movie's fault, and I don't want to be a broken record, but we live in a world where there's a much better cinematic universe that exists. And this movie's old, the first one.
Yeah, I think 2016 is when Wonder Woman came out.
So, I mean, it's not the movie's fault that I live in a world where I've seen Marvel's Endgame and and then follow it up with literally last superhero movie I saw was Spider-Man
Far From Home. 2017 Wonder Woman came out.
Okay, and then the next one I see is Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Do I jump right to the elephant in the room?
If you want.
Yeah, so
do you want do you want to talk about what you liked first? Or is that
Well, no, I mean there's definitely see, I like this, but I'm also going to complain about another DC thing about this. She's appropriately set where she should be, maybe even a little earlier than when Wonder Woman actually starts in her story.
But Superman takes place in 2011 or whenever.
Yeah. But I appreciate that with Wonder Woman. I wish they did the same for the other superheroes, because how cool would a World War II Superman movie be? And I know the idea was maybe they were staying away from that because Captain America just did that, but then they did it with Wonder Woman, so why not just do it again?
Yeah.
So I appreciated that aspect of it. I liked that they finally actually followed up with the God, because I just assumed the movie wasn't going to do that.
With what?
So her whole story line is, I'm trying to find Ares, God of War.
Right.
And I really assumed he just didn't exist.
Oh, okay.
Or just wasn't, or was just legend at this point.
Yeah.
But then, and they really made you think that when she kills the general she assumes is him and nothing happens.
Yeah, the poison dude, Danny Hudson.
Yeah.
Danny Huston's character.
Yes, and that was cool.
Did you like Chris Pine's, I think she was his assistant? The short, bubbly woman?
Oh, yeah.
I really love her. She plays one of Sabrina's aunts on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She plays Hilda.
Yeah, she was a cute character. I thought she was definitely gonna be a bad guy at one point.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, for a split second, I was like, I think she's on the bad guy's side. But then she very much wasn't in like the very next scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was cool. She was cool. Yeah, it was okay. Definitely like the second one better.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Okay. I haven't seen the first one in a while, so I might agree with you because I liked the second one a lot.
Yeah, I also like, I'm going to go over this very lightly because we're going to most likely make a video essay on it.
Yeah.
But I had a skewed view, which is, I believe, Kevin Smith's production company.
No, it's the. Oh, it might be the name of the production. It's the name of his cinematic universe.
Oh,
The
okay.
View
Yeah,
Askew.
yeah.
View Askew cinematic universe.
But all joking aside, I had a bit of a different viewing experience than most. This is no surprise. I don't want this to come off as like it wasn't real till it happened to me. But cultural appropriation is a real thing. And I am.
You just mentioned this actually in Bopper Flop, how you've been real into proper appropriation lately.
Yeah. And I am partly Greek. And like, my grandmother, it's a big part of my life was like being Greek, and there's not a lot of Greek superheroes.
Right.
Except Wonder Woman is. I know you'd be surprised based off of the Wonder Woman movies, but she is Amazon's R, and so isn't the god Ares.
Yeah.
And there's zero representation in this film. So much so that they don't even do the accent.
Right.
They don't even do a Greek accent.
They do an Israeli accent because that's the accent that Gal Gadot has.
Yes, and I will say it again on air because I said it once to you. Whoever's idea that was, if it was the studio, shame on you and shame on her for allowing it to happen. If it's that she couldn't do one and she's that bad of an actress, then she shouldn't be acting.
It doesn't seem like it's that one because everything I've seen her in, I've really liked.
Has she
her.
ever done another accent though?
I don't think so.
Then it might be her.
Maybe
and if
it
it
is
is, bad actor, bad job. Just go for Israeli roles. Don't try another culture. Again, could not be the case, but if it is, that is my
Right.
hard stance on that.
Yeah, no, this
because they made every other actor that's supposed to be Greek
an Amazon.
or an Amazon do that accent, which is a joke. You don't do that.
Yeah, this whole thing is because we have no idea of knowing. This whole thing is like if.
Oh yeah, it's speculation. Well, no, I mean it's one or the other. Somebody
Right.
down the line made the choice that they weren't going to shoot for a Greek accent. They're
Right.
just going to use hers.
And honestly, I don't know if you do this. I don't know if other people do this, but when I'm reading specifically comic books, because that's what I've been reading lately, I always pick a voice in my head to read the character as. So,
Yeah.
like, for example, when Harley Quinn shows up, I use Tara Strong's Harley Quinn. And when the Joker shows up, I use Mark Hamill's the Joker. And because it's the most relevant and prevalent in our society Wonder Woman thing, I always use the Gal Gadot voice for Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Just because my brain sort of like can't not do it.
No, yeah, and I can completely understand that you do that. It's insulting that that's the voice, not your fault though.
Right.
But yeah, and there's, why can't I think of his name now?
Chris Pine.
No, Black Panther.
Oh, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, I was going to say Boseman. I wanted his first name. Chadwick Boseman, they told him he didn't need to do the accent.
Oh, but
For
he went
Black
out of his
Panther.
way to.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like the cultural aspect of the movie impacted him because
Yeah.
it meant something to him, and he decided it was too important of a role to not do the accent.
Sorry, could I derail this for 1 sec? I just need to get this off my chest, or else I'm going to be giggling about it the whole time. My dad was at the store the other day, and he got like one of those lip balms that you can like clip onto a thing and just like pop it open and put it back on. But it was a Marvel Marvel superhero Black Panther themed lip balm, and it was black. It had the Black Panther like collar and logo on. And I was like, oh, that's neat. And then I looked at the packaging, and the flavor was T'Challa tangerine.
Oh no.
And I was like, that's not how it works. You can't just do that.
Yeah, that's not good.
I thought that was so funny. It was one of those moments where I was just like, Black Panther lip balm, T'Challa tangerine. What are we doing?
That's not okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I just had to use
It's okay.
mention Black Panther. I was like, oh my god.
No,
The lip balm.
I'm glad it was mentioned. But let me just collect my thoughts for a moment.
You were comparing Gal Gadot to Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the difference between not caring about the cultural or racial aspect of your character to it meaning a great deal to you. Also, it when we started the movie, I leaned over, and I think this is the moment where Pauline was like, "Oh no." The movie starts. I lean over, and I was like, "His Wonder Woman's Greek, right?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Is this lady Greek?" And she goes, "No." And I go, "Okay." And then I sit back, and in my head I was like, it's not a big deal if they don't make Greece or like the mythology or the culture a big part of this character.
Oh my
in
god!
this
And then
film.
every other line is like, "We're doing this for you,
Single
Zeus."
second of the first half hour of this movie is Greek related, and I was just sitting there stewing more and more. Like, these pieces of shit is what I was thinking the whole time. Didn't help that there were so many. God bless her for even trying to get me to watch this. There were so many notches that like just kept adding up. I was like, it's DC, so I'm already a little leery about it. And
well, the good news, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn isn't in this one. So
well, they should have said she's a Greek Amazon. No, but it was just not Pauline's fault, the movie's fault, but like no, I stewed over this movie the entire time, and I did not give it a fair shot because of that. There were points in the movie where the Ares reveal. I said this to you. I was like, if that was a Greek actor, nobody's gonna notice the whole movie that they're a little more olive-skinned, black hair, do a British accent the whole time until he reveals he's Ares, and then he has a Greek accent. I was like, this scene would be so much cooler if they actually gave the slightest shit about representation of the culture in this film. This can be said for a million films, by the way, and that's why I'm working on a video essay about it.
We just happen to be talking about the two Wonder Woman films.
Yeah, and I'm in the video essay that has not been made, not even finished the script yet. I'm going to go over a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're sitting here like, this isn't the first time, buddy.
Yeah.
Get out of your own butthole and like, I get it. I just, we decided we were making a cinematic relief about a movie that hit me personally with that, and here I am talking about it.
And also, if I may, we're going to stop talking about Wonder Woman in a moment and talk about
I'm
Wonder
also
Woman
going to
2,
stop
but
talking about this.
Oh, okay.
Once that was pretty much it. That's everything I had to say about that.
Well, I was just going to say,
I will mention the difference of how I felt about that in the first one and the second one, but then after that, won't even mention anything.
Right, yeah, of course. No, I just wanted to say, before we move on to talking exclusively about Wonder Woman 2, I did want to talk about Wonder Woman, the first movie, in a different regard.
Sure.
If we can just table the whole
we can
cultural appropriation conversation for a moment. I think that Wonder Woman, the movie, was like a breath of fresh air in terms of like masculinity in superhero films. And I think Wonder Woman being so successful paved the way for the Captain Marvel movie and the Black Widow movie, I'm sure, that I've yet to see because they won't let me. Just more like female-driven projects, specifically in the superhero. Like, I'm sure the Wonder Woman being so successful even impacted some of the writing decisions in Endgame
Oh yeah.
because, you know.
I'm sure it even impacted the decision to do a live action Mulan.
Yes, yeah.
No.
And whether or not that outcome, you know.
No, I absolutely. This was definitely the first well done live action female superhero
Yeah.
film.
The movie is called Wonder Woman. It's about Wonder Woman, who's a female character.
Right.
She's the main character, and she's got all these men character around her. And a lesser movie would do the thing where it's like, we've got it, sister, and then she has to like prove herself. But she shows up, and they're like, yeah, go for it. And she just does what she wants to do, and they're just sort of along for the ride.
The prove herself scene is still there, but it happens so fast it doesn't even. They as anybody should about any human being, despite sex, gender, race.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna go to the front lines and F shit up. And
Oh, the best scene in that movie, pretty much.
Yeah, and they're like, don't do that. And
Yeah.
then she does. And that was kind of the prove yourself moment, but it happened so quickly and they didn't draw
it
too
kind
much
of-
attention to her being a woman.
Right. It kind of almost had a different message, one about World War One.
Well, it was, yeah, but it was more or less not about her being a woman, more so we don't believe you're a
Superhero. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was well done. They skirted that, no pun intended. They skirted that very well.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of the, as you said, kind of not like revolutionary success of this film as to opening the door to other female lead
Yeah.
superhero films.
It was also
Because that's not brought up at all in Captain Marvel, as far as I can remember.
what?
The whole, you're a woman, let me do it.
Oh, right. Yeah. And the one, if you remember the controversy about that deleted scene, the one scene where it was like, you're a woman, what are you going to do, was deleted from the film.
I did. This is first I'm hearing.
Oh,
of it.
really? Yeah. When Captain Marvel arrives on Earth, she's like looking at a map, and there's like this biker dude who like sort of like, let me take care of you, honey. And then she's like,
I think the biker dude is still in the movie.
Right,
I
it
don't
was just
think he's as aggressive.
right, yeah, no, and people were getting angry because she like insults him a bit or whatever. It's old news. No one cares
Okay.
anymore. And therefore I'm not going to talk about it. No, but you're right. That where these female-led superhero projects and film and TV shows in general, I think are better off, or maybe not better off, but like they're as the intended rather than like dumbed down with that other stuff, because Wonder Woman was so big, and so good, and everyone loved it, and it was like the first DC movie to be a huge major success financially and critically,
Right.
since the like new canon of the Man of Steel canon, or whatever you want to call it.
It's so crazy to me that they have just about enough accumulated that they can call it a universe, and they're still not as good as the Dark Knight series.
Dude, I was watching Titans, and there's a flashback scene where Robin goes up to his room, and Donna Troy is there, Wonder Girl, and he's like, what? And she's like, Diana's downstairs talking to Bruce. And I was just sitting there like, so is it Gal Gadot and Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones, or is it Gal Gadot and Bruce Wayne, or is it someone else? I mean, Ben Affleck, or is it someone else and Ben Affleck? Where are we? What are we doing? Which Wonder Woman is talking to which Batman downstairs?
Right. Ugh. That's my response.
that the soft guttural sigh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the second one. So you liked it better?
Yeah, I liked it better, in like part of that might be the after their, for whatever reason, they need to have a fetish-sized Greek intro for both films. There
you mean the
was-
tournament
Yeah.
when she's a kid? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know why that was in the film. It was
Yeah,
kind of
it
a non
wasn't-
sequitur.
It was the armor. That whole thing was just a background for the armor.
The armor doesn't show up in that first scene, doesn't it?
I think she loses, and then I think she gets the story about the warrior.
Oh, does she? Oh, okay.
I will say, as far as representation goes, they did pull it off this time. There were Greek Spartan soldiers as the antagonists against that Amazon women. So great job, DC. You
I'm
managed
confused.
to get them in there.
Like-
In the in the flashback
scene.
scene,
Yeah.
she's fighting off a bunch of Greek assholes.
Yeah.
So like, great job, you did it. You did it, I guess. Make them the antagonist for 2 seconds and then just move on. End rant. I moved past that more in the second film because it wasn't so related to the culture. It was more or less just a superhero movie.
Right.
So I let it go a bit more in the second
Yeah.
one, which allowed me to enjoy the film a bit more. I think it was a nice story. I liked the story. I thought it was interesting. Pedro Pascal did a phenomenal job playing a character he's never even closely resembled playing before.
Yeah.
Uh
I think Pedro Pascal might be one of the greatest actors of all time.
yeah, you said that.
I love him so much.
I think not that he needs to prove himself more to me, but I think I need to see him in a bit more before
When
I give
they-
that.
when they announced he was going to be in this film, everyone was like, "Oh, he's going to play Dr. Fate." And I was like, "That would be cool, but shut up. Stop doing that." So I was like, by the time the movie came out, I was fully expecting him to play Dr. Fate just because everyone was saying that. And then when they announced that he was playing Maxwell Lord, a character who's like a known, doesn't have any superpowers, boring-ass white businessman, I was like, oh, but we just did Maxwell Lord in Supergirl season 1, and the character's boring. And then he like fucking played Maxwell Lord. Like that was the best anyone could have, like the best direction anyone could have taken
Yeah.
that character in.
He does something, just to go back to one of the best actors of all time. He's done something 3 times consistently that I consider a must-have if I'm going to call you one of the best actors of all time.
Okay.
And it's that he makes me forget he's other characters when he's playing that character.
Yes, exactly. He's playing like what's probably going to end up being one of my favorite Star Wars characters of all time when everything's
yeah.
said and done.
And he's
and-
the Viper.
Yes, and he's the Red Viper. I always get
is
that.
it Red Viper?
I always get around because Crimson Viper is a Street Fighter character, but Red Viper is the Game of Thrones character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not going to lie, I thought he did a great job playing the Red Viper. I wasn't overly wowed by him in that. But also, that was probably the direction he was given was, you know, you're not the star. You actually kind of end up being the asshole a bit.
Mm.
He did a good job as the Red Viper. Wasn't the best thing I've ever seen him in.
Right.
Then he did The Mandalorian. He was great in
Yeah.
that. And then he did this, which
Continues
was
to be
completely different than either. Because
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we get it. You can play the cool guy. You
Yeah.
can play the tough cool guy. Then he did
and
this.
then it cut to this. He's a weak, down on his luck,
Yeah.
like, but still super charismatic businessman
Yeah.
almost.
And let me, because now that we've sucked Pedro Pascal's dick, well enough. What's her name?
Kristen Wiig, Gal Gadot,
No, I'm sorry. Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. She's doing a good job. If I come to find out the accent is her fault, I will take that back.
Mm.
But she looks like her. She's doing a good job acting. She's doing a good job being a fish out of water type of character.
Mm.
That's, I just wanted to give her a little. She's doing good.
What did you think of Kristen Wiig's performance? Because I was kind of torn.
I
'Cause
got
I'm not a-
huge. I got huge 1990s Batman Catwoman vibes from her
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah,
What's the actress in
Michelle
that?
Pfeiffer,
Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman vibes from her performance.
Yeah.
Like to a T.
which is hilarious because she's also a cat super villain.
Yes. Yeah. No. Like to a T. I was feeling that.
Well, this whole like I'm nerdy and then I get superpowers and I get all sexy thing is sort of a big trope. Like they do that with Electro in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. No. That wasn't a shot at it at all. I
Oh
was
no,
just,
yeah.
I thought it was interesting that it's another DC character, and I'm getting that same feeling. It's kind of a good thing because I loved those goofy Batman movies growing up, and it was nice to relate it to another DC
Good
movie.
DC thing. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this feels familiar, and I know what's gonna happen. For one, I know what character she's gonna play, and
Right.
two, I can see what's happening. And they didn't do it quite in a Catwoman way. I liked The Rock, not the actor The Rock, but The Rock that is the, what would you call that? Pushes the plot forward.
The MacGuffin.
Yeah. Grants wishes, and then he becomes Dwayne The Rock.
Yeah. Yes.
And I did not so much care for her transformation, what that looked like. It kind of gave me huge Cats the Musical CGI vibes.
Oh, really? You thought the cheetah CGI looked bad?
Maybe I need to see it again. I didn't think it looked bad. It was off-putting.
Oh, okay.
I found it very off-putting, cringy-esque.
Okay.
Not saying it was bad CGI. It was just
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought the
Weird.
CGI looked exceptional.
it was just weird. I didn't much care for it.
It was interesting because there was a couple scenes where I was like, "Wow, the CGI is really kind of taking a hit in this scene for some reason," and then it got to the cheetah, and I was like, "Wow, that's a fully haired up, completely CGI character model, and it looks amazing." So the movie had very inconsistent CGI budget. It seemed.
Yeah, maybe I'd have to look at her and get over the fact that I'm not a big fan of the design.
Right.
I'm
yeah.
sure the CGI looked fine. I just didn't like what I was looking at.
Yeah.
But no, it was a pretty well done classic superhero movie.
That's interesting. You say that classic because I got from this movie, especially the first and second half. I got really big like post MCU early 2000s vibes from this movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
It seemed very typical of movies that came before it, which was but not in a bad way.
One thing I kind of eye rolled at with this movie, which it's not the movie's fault at all. It's the fact that I forgot this is even a superhero trope at this point in cinematic history.
Yeah.
Secret identities just kept getting brought up, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't care. You don't even wear a mask. I was like,
That's my.
I was like,
that
it's
was
clearly
my-
you.
That's what I was thinking. Like when she was saving that kid in the mall and
Yeah.
stuff. Like when
Everybody got a nice, good look at her face.
right, and when Justice League happens, why don't
Yeah.
people remember her?
Right.
When Batman vs Superman happens, why aren't people like, hark, it's Wonder Woman helping Superman and Batman? They're all just like, who's the whip lady?
Right.
What the heck is this?
No, that was my one, like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
But it's not really the movie's fault. It's not really the writing's fault. It's just that's what superheroes were like till the last decade,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And if that's the route you want to go, that's where the word that was when I said a good classic superhero movie.
Yeah.
That's partly where that was coming from. Was there were no real new nuances to this. It wasn't like, at least in that the stereotypical superhero is what this Wonder Woman is. She
Yeah.
has a secret identity. She has a good job that she doesn't,
Yeah.
she tries to keep them separated, and she's either, she's given up on having a personal life to be Wonder Woman,
Right.
so on and so forth. And I'm not going to fault a movie for deciding to go that classic direction.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I meant by it's just a very classic superhero film.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Can I talk about my one big issue with this film?
Sure.
So it's the suit, the big gold suit. So
The Maxwell Lord.
no, the
Suit?
gold suit that she wears with the wings.
Oh,
from the
yeah. Sorry, the armor.
yeah.
Okay.
So the
Doesn't he wear a gold suit too? Or am I just making it up? I was thrown off by his blonde hair.
yeah, I don't know. No, so in this movie she wears the Kingdom Come armor. And listen, I'm always going to be down for an excuse to see Wonder Woman in the Kingdom Come armor, and because this movie came out, there's toys of her in the Kingdom Come armor. I'm literally looking at a pop figure of her in the
Right.
Kingdom Come armor. And I have a feeling that it was just for that, because as far as the movie,
just for the toy.
yeah, because as far as for a marketing campaign, as far as the movie concerned, like the armor is introduced late into the movie. Chris Pine is like, "Hey, what's that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's some legendary armor that I just have in my closet. Here's the story of it." And the story is this woman who used the armor as armor to like cocoon herself in the middle of a war, like an army
Against True Blue Greeks.
and the army was like not like they couldn't get at her because the armor was so strong, right? And then later in the movie she gets the armor just cuz it seems like just cuz like she doesn't know
Yeah.
she's gonna go fight Cheetah
Right.
because she got a second wish for some reason, even though no one else was allowed to, which was really weird.
Yeah, I did notice that as well.
But so she just sort of like, there's like one shot of her going to get the armor, and it doesn't explain why. And then she shows up and she's wearing it, and then Cheetah rips apart the like wings part of the armor like almost instantly, like with
Yeah.
a couple scratches. Which I guess was to show how strong she was, but it sort of just made this armor look super shitty. And then she does the big money shot, pull the wings off thing for trailer purposes. And then the rest of the fight is basically your typical superhero fight, and the armor doesn't really matter. She's just in the Kingdom Come armor.
Right.
And as soon as I saw the first trailer and they had the big like take the wings off shot, I was like, I wonder what that is other than a cool shot. And turns out it was nothing. It just seemed, it was just it just really, for the first time in a while, I was like, oh, this suit is for toys. And they're gonna make a bunch of money off this suit, but it has no plot relevance,
Yeah.
basically, except for a small like Easter egg / after the credits scene later in the movie that is like basically played for like, you
Al-
know.
Also, if that suit is important to Kingdom Come, which I haven't read yet, but I do have all the books to do so.
Yeah.
They just made it so they can't do that storyline, right?
Yeah. Not that I would want them to, because I think they would probably fuck it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all have, all the characters from Kingdom Come have like their new Kingdom Come suit basically, and she doesn't have one until the fourth issue of Kingdom Come when she puts on that armor. And I'm not going to reveal the reason she puts on that armor. Read Kingdom Come; it's the best comic ever written. It's only 4 issues, but yeah, this just seems like an excuse to like, well, what other outfits does Wonder Woman have? Oh, she has the Kingdom Come armor, and it looks fucking dope, and we can make it look cool with CGI, and we can sell toys off of it. Let's do it. So, you know, and like I said, maybe me buying the toys is a hypocrite because I have a pop figure. I plan on getting more. There's a couple of her.
Well, to be fair, that was a present.
True, but I did have my eye on that.
Okay.
I don't know if Kelsey, was that Kelsey you bought me that one?
I believe so.
I don't know if Kelsey knew that I had my eye on that. But I think I'm gonna get. I just love Kingdom Come, and I'll take any excuse to buy Kingdom Come toys and shit, right? So maybe I'm a hypocrite while I'm saying like this was just for toys, and then I buy them, but I don't know. That was my one major complaint. There's a few little ones. I don't like how the whip is now just Spider-Man webbing in practice. Like she just uses the whip to like carry herself across like
places.
buildings and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate that. I didn't mind it at first, and then she did it like 4 or 5 more times through the whole movie. And I was like, but then in my head I was like, fucking Wonder Woman can fly. Why hasn't she flown in these movies yet? And then like she did in this movie. There was the whole like I can fly now scene, which I was like fucking finally.
Oh yeah.
But
I started to doze off a little bit. I wasn't feeling well for whatever reason.
okay.
Why can she fly?
She can fly now in the comics.
Okay.
I'm talking about like historically. For for most of her comic career she couldn't fly, but now she can.
But no explanation in the movie either.
The explanation in the movie was basically like it was something along the lines of like I should be able to, I just don't know how to yet. Here, let me try. Oh, it worked.
Okay.
Because she can fly. But here's the thing with making these fucking movies this way. Why didn't she fly in Justice League?
Which takes place after.
Which takes place in 2016 or whatever.
Right.
She just doesn't fly in that movie or BVS.
Well, I have an easy explanation for that. This franchise doesn't give a shit about continuity.
No, I know. Yeah, it was a cool scene, and I was there with you in the scene being like, yeah, she's going to fly soon, but why didn't she fly in Justice League? She does super speed in Justice League, which is something she doesn't do in this movie. So there's clearly like, look, she's learning abilities as she grows older,
Yeah.
But apparently flight is just one that she learned a while ago, but she doesn't like using it or something. Or something.
Also, Chris Pine, love interest.
Mm.
I wish they used his voice and kept the other guy's body, because it would have made more sense for most of the movie.
Yeah, because he looks like that guy. The whole point is like, this is what she sees, right?
Yeah.
So everyone else is seeing other dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Which also gets weird when they definitely have a sex scene in this movie.
Do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I remember just being like, this dude didn't consent to any of this.
Yeah, you're right. He also this is something that someone else brought up to me. They don't have Steve Trevor is a pilot.
Yeah.
The dude who he's inside of is not a pilot.
Yeah.
So it can only be assumed that he doesn't have a pilot's license. But he he flies a plane in this movie.
Okay.
To a different country from
Okay.
America.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's
then.
just there's some odd storytelling foibles because of the fact that they wanted this Chris Pine's character to be in the body of another character.
Listen, man, everybody seems to love this series. I will die on the hill of the cultural appropriation sucks, as it always sucks every time it happens. And therefore I had a bad time viewing these movies. But I'm not gonna we can poke holes at it all we want. I'm just gonna leave it alone. It wasn't it wasn't that bad. It was an okay movie.
No, I liked it a lot. I liked it a fair amount. We always do this. We
Because
watch
I'll sit there and I'll kick it while it's down. But people seem to like this movie, so
No, as did I.
yeah.
But
So I'm not gonna go too hard.
yeah, no, I think it was great. I think Pedro Pascal did really good. I think Kristen Wiig did surprisingly good. I'm not a big Kristen Wiig fan, and also she's a comedian, and this wasn't a comedy. So I was like, but she did fine. And it was like Kristen Wiig as Cheetah. I was like, fucking what? They gotta stop doing that, man. They gotta stop announcing like actor is playing thing
Right.
in movie, and then the movie is set up where you're not supposed to know who she's playing for like 2/4 of it.
Right.
Because my mom, she turns into a cheetah woman, and my mom was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, she's playing Cheetah. They announced it like a year and a half ago. It's a classic Wonder Woman villain. Here's a picture of her on my phone, mother. but I've known for a while. That's happening with WandaVision too. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a character who showed up who's probably a different Marvel character, but she's going by a different name right now, and people on Reddit and online are like, this character, referring to her as her other name that hasn't been revealed yet on the show. And it's just like, maybe you shouldn't have fucking announced that she was playing this character months ago. If you were going to frame your story like this.
Oh, they announced her as another name. She's not going
Yeah, they
by
said
right
actress is going to be playing this character, and then that character shows up under a different name, and it's clear that they haven't revealed that character is actually this character yet
now. Oh,
in WandaVision.
I think I know what character you're talking about.
You probably do, but I don't want to cut, and I don't want to
I
spoil,
know.
so I will talk about it with you afterwards. What do you think would be a good movie to check in with our main man with? I think we've done a Superman movie before.
Dang.
Should we maybe do a Tim Burton Batman movie? Have we done one of those?
We have done a Tim Burton Batman movie. Have we
We
done
have? Oh,
The
shit.
Dark Knight Rises? We got to write these down. It's not okay anymore.
Roger Ebert, Dark Knight. Let's see. Dark Knight Rises. Oh, thank God. He did do
I
Dark
apologize
Knight
if we've
Rises.
already done this one.
So this is maybe the latest one we've read, because he died in 2013, and this is July 17th, 2012.
Oh,
The
wow.
The title of this review is Behold, Batman is Risen. And it's I'm going to try to block the stars. Yeah, it's Behold, exclamation point, Batman is Risen, no period. So good job, Roger Ebert. Just as a reminder to Chris and the audience, Roger Ebert does scoring out of 4 stars because he's a 100% certified psychopath. Chris, how many stars do you think Roger Ebert gave The Dark Knight Rises?
2.5.
3.
Okay.
Just for context, I hated The Dark Knight Rises. I really did not like it.
No kidding.
Yeah, I thought it was really bad. For multiple
The Joker
reasons.
one?
No, Dark Knight is the Joker one. That movie's exceptional. Dark Knight Rises is the one with Bane.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that one.
That's
I
the
didn't
one we're
mind it.
doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 stars for that one?
Yeah.
I would give it a 2.5.
I would give it less than that.
What do
I
you give
didn't
Dark
like it.
Knight? What do you give Dark Knight?
Yeah, give me a sec. He gave Dark Knight a 4 out of 4.
Okay, that is what I would also give that. Ooh, I don't like that we keep kind of matching up.
The Dark Knight Rises leaves the fanciful early days of the superhero genre far behind and moves into a doom-shrouded apocalyptic future that seems uncomfortably close to today's headlines. Oh,
Okay.
2012. As urban terrorism and class warfare envelop Gotham and its infrastructure, its infrastructure is ripped apart, Bruce Wayne, played by Christian Bale, emerges reluctantly from years of seclusion in Wayne Manor and faces a soulless villain as powerful as he is. Soulless villain as powerful as he is. The film begins slowly with a murky plot and too many characters, but builds to a sensational climax.
It was kind of like they what am I trying to say? It's almost like their best character tragically the actor died before they got to make this one. So
yeah.
so they overcompensated with like 3 villains
Yeah. Because there's Bane and Talia al Ghul
And Catwoman.
And Catwoman, right?
Yeah.
And Catwoman's Anne Hathaway for some reason.
Yeah, also could have not been in that movie
Oh.
entirely.
Well, actually, we're about to talk about the late great Joker. The result in Christopher Nolan's conclusion to his Batman trilogy is an ambitious superhero movie with 2 surprises. It isn't very much fun, and it doesn't and it doesn't have very much Batman. I'm thinking of the over-the-top action sequences of earlier films that had a subcurrent of humor and the exhilarating performance of Heath Ledger as the Joker. This movie is all serious drama with a villain named Bane whose Hannibal Lecter-ish face muzzle robs him of personality. And although we see a good
I
deal...
don't know about that. I thought Bane was pretty funny.
It definitely robbed him of me being able to understand what he was saying.
That's okay. I thought he did good as the Bane they let him be.
Yeah. And although we see, totally different from any past
Yeah.
incarnation of Bane, but that's not.
That's
the
why I
worst
said
thing
it
in the
like
world.
that.
But he did a fine job. Just the muffled, I couldn't, and the miss with the weird accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, and although we see a good deal of Bruce Wayne, his alter ego Batman makes only a few brief appearances before the all-out climax. Bane, played by Tom Hardy, is a performance-invoking. Bane, played by Tom Hardy, in a performance-invoking a homicidal pro wrestler is a mystery because it's hard to say what motivates him. He releases thousands of gothic criminals in a scenario resembling the storming of the Bastille.
What? Excuse me?
The storming of the Bastille? I don't know what that is. I was hoping
Okay.
you would. As they face off against most of the city police force in a street warfare, Bane's goal seemed to be the overthrow of the ruling class, but this would prove little if his other plan, the nuclear annihilation of the city, succeeds. Talking about Bane. No attempts is made to account for Bane's funding and resources. He's talking about how bad the fight between them was, how Batman just punched him once and then he was down, essentially. Bane is the least charismatic of the Batman villains, but comes close to matching Bruce Wayne and Batman in screen time. The film also supplies a heroic cop, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And then he goes over
You
all
mean
the...
Robin?
Joseph, don't even talk to me about that. Talking about Catwoman and Miranda Tate, who was, of course, a code name for Talia al Ghul, as we all remember, I'm sure. Talking about how there was like multiple love interests, all these characters and their activities produced stretches in the first half of the film during which, frankly, I was not entirely sure who was doing what and with which and to whom. The movie settles in for its sensational second half, however, although not ever. So he really just like hated Act 1 and Act 2 and thought Act 3 was a real banger.
Okay.
What the fuck? It says the circular walls of his well represent the deadly climbing wall by which anyone can try to reach freedom, but few succeed. The actual location is in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, India, and we get a glimpse of some zigzagging stairs that are unforgettably shown in Baraka, which I'm assuming is a different movie. And I can only assume it's about the character from Mortal Kombat 2. Turns out Bane was held there as a child. We're still getting... Okay, this is the last bit. This is a dark and heavy film. It tests the weight a superhero movie can bear. That Nolan is able to combine civil anarchy, mass destruction, and a bat cycle with exercised Paul tires is remarkable. That he does it without using 3D is admirable. That much of it was shot in the 70mm IMAX format allows it to make that giant screen its own. That it concludes the trilogy is inevitable. How much deeper can Nolan dig? It lacks the
He really hates 3D.
I know, that's why I
know.
laughed like that. He just always brings it up, even if it's not present. It lacks the near perfection of The Dark Knight from 2008. It needs more clarity and a better villain, but it's an honorable finale. I thought they kind of flubbed the dismount. Like, I thought Batman Begins was great.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, can't wait for the next one of those. I bet it won't be as good. And then it was like 3 times better.
Then it was out of the 3 the only historical film.
Yes.
Like people talk about those. If you think of that trilogy, you think of the Joker.
Right. Yeah. And if you like, I don't know, if you're making a, this is just because where this is always where my mind is. If you're making a video essay and you need to talk about Batman specifically, that one, you'll probably use clips or images of that for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny this gets brought up because Ra's al Ghul also making it into the cultural appropriation video essay.
Yes. And he's actually in this movie, if you remember, for like a split second.
Oh, did they bring him? Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's in the jail with him.
Yeah. You're right.
Once again, Liam Neeson, great actor, not his fault, probably.
Well, no, I mean you can't make Liam Neeson Asian.
Right.
Casting did a bad job.
Right.
He was like, I'm gonna play Liam Neeson. They were like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. He rolled up to Les Mis and they were like, "You're gonna sing, right?" And he was like, "I've written a new script."
He's like, here's the script. We're gonna do it like this.
No, I'm sure the Liam Neeson Les Mis movie was based off the book and not the musical.
In this one, he shows up to set and he's like, "You are aware I'm not Asian."
What if Liam Neeson showed up and he was like, "So, Ra's al Ghul, really? You wouldn't want? Could I play Deadshot, maybe, or perhaps Killer Croc?" Like he's just a big Batman fan. What if? Hear me out. Big bold step. What if the Flash was in this one and I played him?
What a non-characteristic Flash.
It's me, Barry Allen.
No, they wouldn't have done this. It would have been fucking awesome, though. No, he didn't want to make another one. I was gonna say, what if, what's the actor who plays the Joker's name?
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, what if Heath Ledger didn't die tragically?
Yeah.
In the third one, do you think they would have teased another fucking Superman's gonna be in the last 2 minutes of this one, or next up, Sam? No, who makes that trilogy? Who?
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan is like, wait, get ready for my Superman trilogy.
You're saying that you think Heath Ledger was such a good actor that not only would he have probably been the main villain of Dark Knight Rises, but they would have set up something else
They
rather
probably
than
would have
calling
kept
it quits.
going. I think one good movie, one historical movie, and then they flubbed the third one. And I think if that third one didn't flub, he might have kept going.
Yeah.
That's the perfect universe. As we've said before on many podcasts and probably cinematic reliefs, we're in the alternate universe.
Yeah.
Where everything's topsy-turvy. See, in that universe, the DC universe takes off, but it's Christopher Nolan's DC universe.
Yeah.
And then Marvel comes out and people are like, "That's okay, but this one's a thing."
Yeah, in that alternate universe, is the MCU still as good as it is?
I think in that alternate universe, it is, but this one was a trailblazer and is also surpassed what the MCU. See, the MCU starts, then they start the DCEU. DCEU isn't doing as good of a job because it's trying to keep up with Marvel, who's already been in the game too long.
Yeah.
In that universe, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's Superman trilogy comes out, same time Iron Man starts to come out, and they're just so much above the bar that Iron Man comes out and you're like, "That's okay, but like, did you see the new Superman movie?"
No, it was almost like I mean, they were still going on. The timeline doesn't quite add up, but it was almost like Dark Knight Rises ended and like did a curtain call, and then the stage cleared, and then Iron Man came out, and then Iron Man was so fucking good that we were all like, "Wait, hold on, that was super fun and a great superhero movie. Wait, hold on, wait, make more of those." And then they did, and we were like, yes,
Yeah. No, in the alternate universe, Heath Ledger still with us. Dismounts the Batman trilogy.
yeah,
Everybody cries and applauds how start to finish that was just fantastic. And then they sign him on to just make the DC universe like what 4 years before the MCU takes off.
Do you want to know what they haven't done yet? And I don't want them to do this, but it seems like something they would definitely jump to do, but in no way am I saying they should do this or I would want them to do this. I feel like it wouldn't be surprising if they pulled like this one has Heath Ledger's Joker in it, but it's a CGI Joker.
I wouldn't put it past them at this point.
Yeah.
They're like, we need something to keep us relevant.
I had a dream when I was in high school that Heath Ledger came back like he wasn't really dead, and all people cared about was they wanted him to play Joker again. Like no one was curious why he didn't die or how he came back from the dead. They were just like, play Joker again.
That would probably be roughly how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, wait, you're alive? Okay, well, get
Well,
him in
hold
makeup.
on, yeah. Okay, so to catch you up to speed, the guy from Twilight is playing Batman now. Chris, I think Chris aged a year after I said that. I saw like the life drain from your face. What happened?
No, I was just if I put myself in Heath Ledger's shoes, like, if that's the first news you hear,
I'm sure to be clear, I'm sure Robert Pattinson's going to do a great job. I'm sure.
no, but just to see how great those Batman movies were compared to what we have today.
Yeah. And also, like, I know this is not what we were talking about, but, like, you talk about all the time about, like, how DCU, there's no continuity. Ben Affleck's already done playing Batman, and we have a different Batman in this thing and this thing. And
Yeah.
But
Jokers.
there's like 9 Jokers. But in the Justice League movie that I know you have not seen, there's a line where Alfred says something along the lines of, like, if only it could be simple as penguin bombs or whatever. Like, he references Batman Returns, like the second Tim Burton one with Catwoman and Danny DeVito as the Penguin. And it's like, so Ben Affleck is the same Bruce Wayne as Michael Keaton, is what you're saying? But not the one from the Nolanverse? Like, what are you trying to say? But then you move over to Titans, and it's like a old blonde dude playing Bruce Wayne. I don't know. It was such a weird line. It was one of those things where we're supposed to be like, I said the cool thing, neat, but I was just like, no, everybody stop. Why did he say that?
No, yeah, it's nonsense. Be clear about your intentions. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Still the best Joker.
Oh yeah. Well, best live
action. Yes. No. Thank you.
Because you made Marky Marks.
No. Marky Mark and the Skywalker bunch. No, he's the man. I was gonna say something else. Now I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
No, we were just talking. It could have been so good. We could have had it all.
Oh no, I know.
Also, I'm not rooting for the universe where DC's great and MCU sucks. I'm rooting for the universe where DC starts us off with the Chris Nolan Batman trilogy, and that is the start of the DCEU, and then MCU picks up and does exactly everything they've done to date, but the DCEU is equally as good as that.
Yeah, no, I think in that universe, what is happening is what they want to be, what they wish would be happening, where you've got, it's like Star Wars and Star Trek for some reason. You've got your MCU fans and your DCU fans, and now with the frequency of MCU movies, like their release schedule, barring COVID, versus the release of the DCEU and how many numbers and how long it's been happening, there's almost no, like if you're a superhero fan, everyone loves MCU, and there's some people who also like DCU.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say about 97% of those people will be like, but MCU's better.
Oh, yeah. It's I mean,
I'd be fascinated.
Come on here and make your argument.
Yeah, I was just gonna. I'd be fascinated to talk with someone who thinks that the DCEU is better and like doing a better job than the MCU.
When I was
not even to disagree with them, I just want to know why, because that would. I just like that is not even a thing that I'm like thinking. You know,
when I was ignorant to the MCU.
Yes.
And if you said, "Come on down and tell us why DC's better," my first and only the one thing I would, say to no end is, but DC is better superheroes. Also,
and I would agree with
Marvel copied a lot of the DC superheroes.
Right.
Which, sure, but have you seen how they've been represented lately?
Yeah,
is
how
you respond to that.
I feel that. No, it's, yeah. No one gave a shit about Iron Man.
No.
Nobody. I didn't even know who he was.
Or to a further extent, really, Captain America.
Yeah.
At the time, who was Captain America but a poor man's Superman?
He was the poor man's Superman and a less interesting one.
Right, which they turned right on its heels.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe not even less interesting. We were just all ignorant to the characters.
Yeah.
Because I think Captain America is interesting. I think he has an interesting background. But they didn't fudge the story all that much. They just put it on the screen.
Yeah, they just got a good actor and they told it
he was always interesting. It's just none of us knew about him
Right.
because we lived in the world where you know who Superman and Batman are.
No, yeah, I could probably, as a, oh God, when did Superman Returns come out? Like 2005. So I was like, so I was 13. As a 13-year-old, 12-year-old boy, I could have probably, without seeing a Superman movie at that time, probably relayed to you his entire backstory and all of his superpowers and most of his enemies.
Yeah.
You know. No, it's there was been such a flip with which superheroes are more in the mainstream.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're telling me more people care about Hawkeye than the Flash?
Oh my God, I know. And that fucking, they're gonna do it again. That Hawkeye show is coming out, and it's gonna be fucking great because it's based off Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, and they got Haley Steinfeld to play Kate Bishop, and fucking everyone who's ever read Matt Fraction's Hawkeye absolutely loves it, and they're going to make a TV show based on that, and we're all going to love it. And yes, people are going to care about Hawkeye more than they're going to care about The Flash.
They already do.
They
is
already
the point
do,
I was making.
but they're just they're doing good stuff at the MCU. Well,
Yeah.
that's our review of Wonder Woman.
Wasn't bad. The only shining hope DCU has, it seems.
At this point. Well, they do have James Gunn making that second Suicide Squad movie. I'm still
Good luck
holding out.
pulling that from the grave. Nothing against James Gunn. He obviously does a great idea. Never called me back, but that's fine. I gave you a whole shout out on one of our videos, my dude, but it's okay.
He was busy not making Guardians 3.
Also not his fault.
Right.
Yeah, nothing against him. It's just good luck.
No, I understand.
Pulling that one.
I understand why you're not looking forward to the Suicide Squad, and I also shouldn't be, but I'm just holding out hope that James Gunn rolls up. He's like, "Fuck you, I'm making it." I was like, "Fuck yeah, it's gonna be good." And then he announces Margot Robbie's still in it, and I was like, "All right."
Well, okay, you know what? I'll give him this. I would argue Margot Robbie's still in it. That guy probably went in there and was like, "Motherfucker, there's gonna be some consistency in this universe."
Yeah.
People, for whatever reason, like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, we're gonna keep her. She doesn't want to go anywhere.
Oh, I meant to tell you, and this will be the last thing we say because we are going a bit long. Now that Death Metal is over, they're doing something called Future State, and I read Future State Harley Quinn issue 1. It was terrible. I didn't like it, but there was a throwaway joke about that. There was a point in the comic where she was introducing herself. She was going over all of her catchphrases, and she says, "Daddy's sweet, Daddy's little girl," or whatever the shirt says, "Daddy's perfect angel," or whatever. And she says it, and she's like, "That one didn't really stick." And then she went on to the next one. I was like, "Yes, oh my God,
Good.
shit on the Suicide Squad, please."
Good. I like it.
Yeah. No, I thought that was great. But yes, I will. No, I will. What the fuck? Like I'm hanging up on a phone call. This has been Cinematic Relief. I've been Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you next time.